Welcome to Season 2 of the To Health With That podcast, where we break up big health topics into small bites. I'm Amy, and this season I'll share all the tips, tricks, and hacks you need to get healthy with an MTHFR mutation in a step-by-step, week-by-week process. I can't wait. Okay, so I am so excited. I'm here today with Renee Harris, the founder and inspiration behind Made on Skincare, which was started in 2009. Seems like a total departure from my show, but you know what? I am chemically sensitive. Like half of my people are chemically sensitive. Skincare is a really big deal for us. You know, like we just don't do well with the over-the-counter stuff. So Renee, welcome.
Thank you. And I have to say, I get an education anytime I have somebody with skin conditions come to me. So I am learning a lot. Yeah, I definitely am learning a lot on how much is happening on the inside that turns out into the skin issue that it is.
I know, it's amazing. Well, our skin is so much a reflection of our internal health. You know what I mean? Like, and they, you know, like the old sort of the old timey doctor version is your skin is your gut, right? It's the direct reflection of your gut. But honestly, I think it's the direct reflection of so many things. It's not just your gut. So tell me a little bit. I'm sure you've got a journey because this is a passion project, right? Like you don't start something like this unless you've got an investment. So can you tell me a little bit about what this has been?
Yes. And for me, I have to say that compared to you and a lot of your listeners, mine's going to sound kind of minor because I know you have a lot more you're dealing with. So for me, though, I have always had the super dry, cracked skin in my fingers and my heels. And it's just been something I've had, you know, my entire life. And my mom has the same skin issues. And so we would kind of compare notes back and forth. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? You know, you put socks on your hands or the overnight gloves or, you know, all the different balms and mostly at the end of the day, I would just have Band-Aids on my fingers all the time. Oh. And that's a pain when you have to hand wash a lot and then replace them, and trying to cut lemons just was so painful. So all of those issues, I just figured that's, you know, everybody has their thing. That's my thing I have to deal with for the rest of my life. And then my mom had, she called me up and said, hey, I had a friend give me this thing called a lotion bar. Have you heard of it? And do you want to try making it? And she said that because I was also very much into doing just a lot of, you know, whole food cooking for the family and even dabbling a little bit in making soap. And so she just figured she could ask me to make it and I'd figure it out. Well, that thankfully it was easy, thankfully. And so I had Googled just what this thing was. It basically, the way she described it is it's a bar and you just rub it over your fingers, let it absorb into your hands. It looks like soap, but it's not soap and you would not wash with water when you're using it. So you just rub it into your skin. And one of the reasons why it was so effective is because it doesn't have water in it. And the minute you have to put water into a product, you have to also put those preservatives, the additives, and then companies are going to add some fragrances to make you like it and want to buy it. So that's why trying to shop for skincare products is such a difficult thing. And I didn't even have, you know, I wasn't even thinking about all those extra, I didn't know about all those extra things until we started to make this consistently. So anyway, I wanted to just find something super simple. She just swore by it. So I thought I need to go investigate this and try it. So I was looking in some of the different soap forums that I was part of. And finally I found what she was talking about. And then there was just a whole page of recipes with all kinds of ingredients. Like, I just want to keep it simple. Just simplicity. I'm already busy. I don't want to invest in something that may not work again. So, but I did find something that was just 3 ingredients, and it was beeswax, shea butter, and coconut oil. And just those 3 ingredients is what you need to make the bar. And so I found those at my local health food store, and I was able to shop, take it home, make it. And by the evening, I had my product ready to go.
Exactly that.
And the same exact 3 ingredients, same ratios. We do kind of adjust it for the summer when it gets a little bit, you know, it'll feel better in the summer if it's a little bit with a little more beeswax in it to harden it a bit. But that was all it was. And I could not believe how good it felt on my skin after I applied it.
Yeah, I'm
And yeah, you're using it right now.
as we speak.
As you, so then my son, so I just started using it on my own skin, and it does take a little bit of getting used to using it because it's not as convenient as a pump lotion or, something you could just squirt on your hands, apply and go. This is like, you do have to rub it in a little bit, and then you'll notice that over time, you don't have to reapply as often as you do with other products. So then a little bit later, probably a month or two later, my son would get the seasonal eczema the same time every year. And so I had him just use it on his own skin. And it worked so well on eczema. And that blew me away because I figured for sure that's something. And I didn't really want to have to go to the dermatologist if it wasn't, it was just, I knew it was seasonal. I didn't want to just put a bunch of chemicals on his body that I didn't know what was in it. And and then since now, since 2009, learning so much of the side effects of steroids, you really do have to be careful about that when you go to a dermatologist. So anyway, knowing that the 3 ingredients that are also edible, by the way, are fine for your skin and they fix it. So that was a starting point. I didn't think anything of it until a few months later, as far as like becoming an entrepreneur and selling something like this. That didn't ever cross my mind, but we had a little farmer's market get started in our little town in Northern California. And I thought, this is a big experience for my sons to come and sell something with me at the farmer's market. So anyway, long story short, we loved that so much that we did that consistently for a season. And then we decided, people are getting helped by this. Let's launch it and sell it online. So that's what we did. And that was back then, and became a full-time family business, like within about a year after that. And we've been doing the same thing ever since.
That's amazing. And I love that you're doing this with your family. Like it's, nothing to do with the product, which is wonderful, but it's so nice to hear of businesses that still happen that way, right? I feel like we're losing that in our culture.
And it's kind of what's unique about that too, is that our children have become entrepreneurs from that. Like my 2 little farmers market boys have grown up and now they own their own businesses. They live on their own, and unique stuff, not selling lotion. They didn't want to carry this one on, but they're doing their own thing. But it's neat to see them develop that and go out there. And so it's been a nice, and in many ways, it's been great for the family.
Well, and I want to circle back to something that you said about all of the ingredients being edible. There is a tremendous lack of knowledge around this. So we actually absorb more from our skin than we do from our digestive tract. So if you apply something topically, you will absorb it better through your skin than through your digestion, which is a little bit terrifying when you think of the things that we typically apply topically. And it takes longer for that to get to your liver for any detoxification, because with your stomach, there's like a first pass effect where all of the blood flow that sort of feeds your stomach and takes the nutrients from your stomach goes through the liver first, right? Assuming that there's going to be toxins, there's going to be toxic exposure. And so it goes straight to the liver and then to your body. Whereas something you put on your skin is disseminated throughout your body before it ever gets to the liver. So, things that we put on our skin have far more potential to be toxic than things that we ingest, right? We have protective mechanisms for ingestion. We just don't have them for skin. And that's
interesting.
So scary, right? Because think of like the cleaning products and the air fresheners and room sprays and bug spray and
In fact, that's one of the things that we, so through this journey, I had different newborns at different times, but one of my children was a newborn and had just the typical baby rash. And so I was looking at the Desitin ingredients that I was putting on his skin. And I realized that the active ingredient that would take care of the rash is zinc oxide, which is another edible. Zinc is great. And so I thought, well, can't I just take that thing that is going to fix the rash, mix it in with some of the ingredients that we have for our products, and make a rash cream out of it? And so we did that. We just took beeswax, coconut oil, and zinc oxide, just those 3 alone. And I would even love to sell it as a SPF, because that's another, it's so good as a sunscreen, but that's highly regulated. So I use it for myself, just use our rash cream as an SPF when I need it. But as far as another ingredient that's so simple, 3 ingredients, and that would take care of rash just as well, if not better than desiccated and you don't have the fishy smell in it too. But there's so many things like that. And I know that some people are allergic to even, you know, coconut oil, and there's so many different adjustments you can make to a recipe like this that you can just substitute something else for it. So if someone is allergic to nuts, and I know those people have to be very careful about like almond oil, but you can do a different kind of oil, apricot, you know, there's all kinds of different substitutions that if you get into making it yourself, you'll find, oh, there's a whole freedom of making your own skincare products for yourself if you're really having to be cautious about the different ingredients.
Yeah, which is what I've done for years, because I mean, honestly, finding stuff over the counter is just too challenging. And I have with mixed results, right? Like I can make a great whipped body butter kind of thing, but like soap, beyond me.
Yeah, that's a lot of, I don't do that soap anymore either. I have someone else make it for us, and we do a really good goat milk soap, but
which
they've got the goats. They've got
your avocado facial soap. Now I forgot to bring my bar. It's actually in my bathroom right now. But it is absolutely amazing. Like I have found one other soap on the face of this planet that I actually tolerate on my face.
Oh, wow.
And
That's good.
yeah, it's made locally here, and it's a goat milk soap, but this avocado soap, it's the same. Like normally if I use soap on my face, I spend the entire next day itchy, right? And feeling like it doesn't matter how much oil I put on, it doesn't matter how much, you know, normally I use a face oil that's like a jojoba based, but it doesn't matter how much I use, like I feel like tight and drawn together and itchy.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
Your soap didn't do that at all. And it has such a lovely fragrance to it. And like, I think it's just the ingredients. There's no fragrance in
there's
it,
no added fragrances. I think it's just that natural. It does have the goat milk. It's even made with avocado puree. So I mean, it has that real avocado and the avocado oil in it. And yeah.
That is a stroke of brilliance. I love that, because it actually feels like my skin doesn't feel itchy at all. I didn't have any of that. And that is so incredibly rare for me.
Oh, good. Did you try the Simply Shea, which is for the face in a little white tube? Did I send that one to you?
I got that one. So I've got
that for the face. Okay, yeah, for the face, that one is amazing. And really, this is a little tip for anybody that just go get shea butter. Shea butter is amazing for the face, for anything. We add a little bit of rosehip seed oil to it to make the one that we call Simply Shea Facial. And I use that every day. Under makeup, it's great too, because sometimes you apply like a foundation and it gets all kind of cakey and stuff, but it works great. Or before bed, but that tight feeling of the facial dryness is, you know, it's a horrible feeling. And so this really, the two products which is the avocado soap you're talking about and the Simply Shea Facial is like, it's perfect. It's all you need for your face.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. Like I love simple face care that just works. Like it's not high maintenance. You don't have to do a bunch of stuff. I'm just not high maintenance enough to, you know what I mean? Like I have always aspired to be one of those people that has like this is my 5-step beauty routine. And I do this for myself morning and evening. Yeah, I can't.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And it's, you know, at the end of the day, I don't prioritize it enough relative to everything else that I have to do. Right. Yeah. And so, and I mean, I tend to be hard on my skin in spite of the fact that I'm sensitive. Like you can see, I was out at the lake with my daughter this morning and got a sunburn because it's perfect weather here right now. Yeah. So, you know, like I'm not a great skincare person. Yeah. But then on the other hand, I'm so high maintenance in this weird way because, you know, ingredients.
Yeah, but you can tell you look super healthy all the way. I mean, that glow is there and your skin looks great. So I think because you're taking care of everything else with the food that's going in, your skin shows that too.
It's working out. Yeah. Well, and, you know, for my community, people with MTHFR mutations, like we do have this tendency towards difficult detoxifying, right? And so a lot of the ingredients in skincare are just really, really damaging for us. And then a lot of times we have corollary mutations, right? So like GST in the glutathione pathway or something like that, where we just don't detox effectively on a different level, you know? And so there's a lot of chemical sensitivity. There's a lot of just that reactive skin. And then a lot of outright allergies, right? Like skin allergies that manifest as hives or eczema or, that skin atopia, just meh.
Yeah.
So, and then autoimmune disease, like myself, I have psoriasis, which is only in my ears, weirdly, right now. Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah. And you haven't shown the psoriasis anywhere else but your ears?
I did. So I got it. It showed up when I was 17. And at that time, it was all the back of my scalp, like occipital area. But when I had my baby, which was not until 6 years ago, because, late bloomer.
I had one 6 years ago too.
Excellent. Good enough.
Yeah. And I turned 50 last year. So late bloomer. Okay.
Very nice. You also do not look 50 in any. Well done. So yeah, avocado soap, it's working.
Yeah, there you go. There's a plug.
But yeah, when I had my daughter, the scalp part resolved, and then the ear part started, right? For whatever reason.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. No idea why.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm actually grateful because the scalp it was a bigger area, and so it was more painful, more irritating, whatever.
Yeah.
So the ears, I can live with that. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
well, that's good to know though. See, that's information for me to know, because we do have people with psoriasis coming to it. Probably eczema is the main one, but psoriasis too. And then hives, there's so many different. And so I'm always on the lookout for what is causing this. What can we pass on to people to go investigate, because there are so many different factors, and we're learning too that a lot of it is stress and sleep and hormones, and there's so many different factors. So just to have that one more piece that someone can investigate or get tested is good for us.
For both psoriasis and eczema, I would highly, highly recommend anybody that you work with, just share with them that they should maybe consider a food sensitivity elimination diet. Like that's huge with, and for me, the only thing that ever helped the psoriasis, now I never used steroids. I just declined those. But the only thing that ever helped when I had the big patch on my scalp was eliminating wheat from my diet. Like once I got wheat out, it was a big deal.
And we had a incident with my son who's 16, and last summer where he was just breaking out with eczema, and it drives me crazy because here I'm supposed to have all the answers.
Right.
So I did all of the normal things. We did the wheat, we avoided eggs. So I try to get as many, and he's 16, so that makes it really hard. But when he's but the eggs, the dairy, the wheat. And so what I found out though was, when I'm trying to eliminate dairy, I'm pulling in like the different nut milks instead to replace it. So what was really strange was what we found out after we did a lot of blood work is that what he's allergic to is coconut, almond. So all the stuff that I thought I was replacing with the good stuff, he's actually allergic to a lot. So dairy, he's fine with dairy. He's fine with eggs. He can't have wheat though. That is a big trigger. And he can't have nuts or seeds and or soy. So it's like the oils that you find in products, especially foods and processed foods. So I keep trying to just go back to, he wants his potato chips, and we're like, oh, can you just have the potato? Can't we just make our own? And so if he wants to, if he has to have his potato chips, we look for the olive oil, if it's been baked in olive oil. So but it is tough when it is. People though have had a lot of success if they start with the wheat and at least try the wheat, the eggs, and the dairy, eliminating those, and that's really helped their skin a lot. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, and with psoriasis, the nightshade veggies too tend to be kind of an issue. Not as much with eczema, but with psoriasis, a lot of people have trouble with like tomato, potato, eggplant, peppers, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's super weird. I mean, God knows why, but and goji berries also are in that family, which is sort of an unexpected, that wasn't a thing a decade ago. Nobody knew what a goji berry was.
But that's a trigger then for psoriasis. That's a trigger for psoriasis then, huh?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh yeah, I would have.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah, and not for everybody, I think, but for some people, right? For some people. So yeah, it's another thing to watch for, but it's amazing how big the connection is between food intake and skin health. Right? And the hard part is, a lot of those things you find cross kind of cross-contamination in skincare products. There are so many shampoos and conditioners and skin serums and this and that have wheat in them.
Yes, yes. In fact, vitamin E is wheat-based. So there are a lot of vitamin E products out there. So thankfully, our soap maker who does the avocado soap, she doesn't use, she uses vitamin E, but it's not a wheat-based vitamin E. So I'm glad she knew about that, because I had people, it's another thing, I had no idea with the vitamin E, but I had some customers ask, they needed to make sure it was a non-wheat based. And so I went to soap maker and she knew all about that and said, nope, we did. So that was, yeah, that's hard because there's so many,
I know,
with those ingredients.
Yeah, it is. And even, and vitamin E too, ironically, is usually in like the good products, right? Like
right. I know you think you're going all
way
natural.
more. Yeah, you're spending a ton for this and like you're doing your best to find the good stuff. And then it's,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a challenge. So it's really exciting for me to have something that isn't made by me in whatever jar I happen to find around at the time. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it makes a difference.
The whipped, I did that for a season too. The whipped, butter's like, oh, but that's a lot of work. So, yeah.
But this is also, so my husband is a pilot. We end up flying quite a bit. And this is so freaking smart for airline travelers, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't, it's not like I can bring my mason jar of whipped body butter,
right?
Right? Like somebody be like, excuse me.
And if you have carry-on and then you only have so many ounces that you can take on the plane with you, and you got your little Ziploc bag or whatever, showing how much, this doesn't count towards the liquids. So if you have your favorite liquid, makeup or cream or whatever, you have to weigh it. You have to make sure it's not going to, they won't take it away because you have too many. But yeah, all of the products that we have are pretty much travel friendly as far as carry on. So yeah,
that's so smart. I mean, that's so smart, right? Because now it's such a huge issue, right? Going on vacation is this whole like nightmare ordeal of little bottles and filling
and travel just dehydrates the skin so badly too. So I mean, you got to have your lip balm with you because you're going just from one area to another, or just being inside the plane and getting dehydrated.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Well, and dehydrates the rest of you too. Plug for water, right? Drink water.
Yes.
It's a concern for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's lovely to know that there's products out there that aren't going to, set off this whole cascade of hormones.
Yeah, you've got enough you have to deal with ingredient watching. So yeah.
Yeah. Next, if you'd make a toothpaste, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, there you go. We did it one time with like activated charcoal, which is messy, but you could just use that alone and mix it in oil with it and brush your teeth.
I have a tin in my bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. Every time I use that, my daughter's like, Mommy.
I know, it's a mess.
Don't think you should do that. It's nice. It's nice every now and then. Well, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you want to share about the products before we?
Well, I know it's a risk with anybody trying something new. And even with this, people could have an unknown allergy. Even if it's a natural ingredient, you could still be like my son. We have to actually make products for him because he was using our rash cream constantly because he would break out. Part of his eczema was just all that redness. So the rash cream is what he would use all the time. So he got the whiteness on his face, but his face was a lot more conditioned and he felt better about going out in public and not looking so red. And then we found out he was allergic to coconut oil. So we had to he has his own little special line of skincare just for him that doesn't have coconut oil. We use olive oil instead for him. But knowing that it's still a risk to buy something online. So I definitely want your listeners, if they were interested in trying something like this out, is I think we are called Made on Skincare, but we had a very easy domain, and that's hardlotion.com. So if you go to hardlotion.com/freebie, and that will take you to our sample page where we have samples, including lip balm is on there. The bee silk that you had, the bee silk is the very first product that we started with. That's the lotion bar. And then we also, over time, we added some different essential oils to the same exact bar. We have it also in a stick form, so you can kind of rub it on. and that became a bug repellent. So there's different products that, again, we just tweak things, and then we find out that you just add a little bit of this or take away that, and you have a whole new product, and it works great. And so I keep thinking, I'm like, I don't want any more products. It's just a lot of work. And then somebody says, oh, can you come with something for my hairs? I mean, we have some hair products. We even have a shampoo bar. And if that's, I could imagine that shampoo would be another one to have to look at those ingredients. Another, it's a bar form. So again, it's travel friendly. It's not liquid. It's not going to make a mess. And a little bit just goes a long way. So
I didn't get to try your shampoo bar. What do you use as a foaming agent? Like,
I have a shampoo bar maker for that one because I don't do the soaps. So I don't know what she uses as a I have a feeling though that, because I don't think she has anything special. I know from making soap in the past, sometimes just certain kinds of butters will work well, when one will actually make it foam up a little bit
or something.
Yeah. So it could just be that one of those, I don't know that she really adds anything to it to make it foam up. And it's not going to be super foamy, but amazingly, it's still, you can lather it through your hair, even though it feels like a soap bar when you're using it. And then you just lather it through your hair. Sometimes people will need an additional, like a rinse, which for me, I just use a apple cider vinegar as a rinse, and then that takes care of it. So it doesn't really need a whole nother conditioner, but yeah, so there's just all kinds of unique things that we have. We've also have it's called a Be Cool bar. It's got menthol in it. So if you have that muscle soreness, the menthol feels that nice coolness. So again, you just throw in some menthol, and now we had, sometimes add some more essential oils, and then you've got something that will help with muscle soreness and aching.
But it's still a really simple ingredient list. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So this is going to be such a great resource for my folks. I'm just so excited to share it.
And I'm excited because I have you now as a resource. As I was listening to your podcast episodes, oh my goodness, this is so much information. So especially with the psoriasis, I've got different places to point people to for eczema, but I assume that would be in your realm too. But knowing that specifically psoriasis, that's good. I'm happy to have that too. So
yeah, I mean, it's really a big deal. And so again, that was hardlotion.com/freebie.
Yeah, just FREEBIE, and that should take you to the free product page.
Oh, yay. That's so exciting. Well, thank you so much, Renee, for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm a huge fan, especially.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.